Afternoon, Gayton. How are you doing?
Very good. Yourself?
Good, good. Thank you so much for giving some of your time to me today. Gayton, who will rule the Western Cape after May?
You're speaking to the person. I will be either the president of the country, but most definitely the premier. I'm the premier candidate for my party. I'm going to be the next premier of the Western Cape.
Tell me, how does that work, being the candidate for president of the PA and also premier? How will that work?
Well, what basically happened, it's not the first time it happened. Helen Zille did it. Patricia de Lille, Minister Patricia de Lille is doing it now. So what you're doing is you're taking your candidate that you think is the most pull in a certain province. And at the end of the day, if the negotiations go well, you then put him either as the president of the country or you keep him as premier candidate. So my party can decide either I'm going to become the president or I'm going to be the premier. But one of the two, I definitely will be.
What do you think will be the outcome for the Patriotic Alliance post-May countrywide?
Well, I think we will get between 8 and 10%. That will be enough for us to be the kingmakers. It's not a new role to us. We are the kingmakers now in the city of Joburg, the biggest municipality in Africa, and we will definitely be the kingmakers in South Africa.
Yes, you've been kingmakers in quite a few municipalities.
100%.
Your opponents, however, are criticizing you about NISNA. What exactly is happening there? Is it propaganda or what is the story?
No. NISNA is not propaganda. NISNA didn't have water. And we need to own up to that. But NISNA is not the only place there was no water. There was no water in Franschhoek. There was no water in parts of Paarl. There's no water in Kalicha. There's no water in Guguletu. But the only reason why NISNA is because it affects white people in NISNA. But when it affects colored people and it affects black people, it's not a crisis. But when it affects white people, it's Armageddon. So I'm saying, I'm not denying, we need to learn from the mistakes of NISNA. I'm part of a coalition. And I would not be a leader if I now stand here and say, oh no, it's my coalition partners. We are equally as guilty. We've learned from it. There's water now. And we need to make sure it never happens again, not only in NISNA, but everywhere else.
Your political opponents are accusing you of using a missing child to gain political brownie points.
All right. Number one, where were they when the community called their leaders? I rocked up. Where were they when the police wanted to close the matter? I said, I am not leaving. This case will not become a file. This is not the first child. In the time that Jocelyn was gone, we managed to get 2 children that was missing. One in KwaZulu-Natal and one in Packersdorp. So Jocelyn is not the first and will definitely not be the last ever child we're looking for. We have successes in it. I'm a father before I'm a president. And if a child gets missing, in our community, when a child gets missing, it becomes a file. I will make damn sure that Jocelyn does not become a file. They must stop criticizing and come and help us to search for Jocelyn because she's still not found. Instead of accusing me, come here, come show me how to better search without running the risk of being criticized as looking for political brownie points.
Who will you work with post-May elections?
You know, we've been saying it, we will work with anybody. A coalition is not about your ego. A coalition is not about who do you like. We want power to give jobs, power to change people's lives. And you can't get power if you're not in government. You don't have power if you're not in government. So we will work with anybody. If the AWB still existed, we would have formed a coalition with them.